Well, good morning, West in the world. Today is Tuesday, September the 8th, and this video is mostly just a welcome to the new fall semester and just a word of introduction to the purpose of this video series and how it will function in the class as a whole. So every day, or at least once a week, someday, I'll miss some days for sure, after class, I will come and make a short video such as this one, where I will try to review the major themes of the class for the day, try to distill it into a couple of minutes of summary overview, highlight some key terms, and maybe help you build some connections to what comes next. Those videos will then appear on the course YouTube channel and will sort of be updated on a regular basis. A lot of students have found this to be a helpful review tool, and so I plan to continue using it during this coming semester. If you need a sort of sneak preview of things still to come, this channel now has hundreds, I suppose, of videos from the past couple years that you can use to sort of look ahead at topics that that are still to come. For example, if I were making a review video based on today's class, I would highlight the fact that our conversation centered sort of around two main themes. This notion of what does it mean to study the past, what is it that the discipline of history within sort of the academic realm means, and then secondly, why have we set particular parameters in this course, the West in the world since 1500. And I would highlight for you the fact that historians think of what they do as an interpretive art, exploring the past by way of primary source documents, those things that come to us sort of directly from the people and the time that we are studying, combined with secondary sources, the works of other historians and commentators that give us reflections and other people's interpretations of those events from the past. And that by bringing those two things together, we develop our own views and understandings of the past. It's neither perfectly a science nor perfectly an art. It is not purely subjective, that is to say, there are rules that sort of govern the parameters of how we go about this decision making and this interpreting. But it also doesn't produce for us these sort of cold, hard, objective facts, at least in anything beyond sort of the most mundane facts, right? We can say that in 1815 Napoleon lost the Battle of Waterloo. That in and of itself is true, but a fairly meaningless fact unless we begin to understand the broader context of who Napoleon was and how his rule in France had altered the fabric of Western society in general. And then in terms of our discussion of the West in the world since 1500, we identified this notion of the West as being associated with a particular cultural set of values, and that we said are often defined in terms of democracy, perhaps Christianity, and also capitalism, and that these values, or that these basic sort of bedrock ideas have spread from Western Europe to the United States, Canada, Australia, and to many other parts of the world as well. And that the reason why we are interested particularly in the interaction of that cultural set of ideas with the world at large is because of something since the year 1500 that we called the Great Divergence. The reality that sometime around the year 1500, as a consequence of overseas exploration, as a consequence of the ferment of new ideas, Western development, economically, politically, socially, took off in very different directions than the rest of the world, and in many ways accelerated away from them, and that has had long-running implications over the last 500 years and for shaping the world we live in today. These are all things we'll be talking about much more in the days ahead. Looking forward to it very much. Have a good one. I will see you in class on Thursday.